What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we're in full 8 times weakness Pokemon team. So today, people, marks our 700th team on YouTube. Woo! So we got 700. I didn't even think when I made this series up on YouTube that I'd ever do 700 of these, but here we are, people. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. The question of today is, what is the worst Pokemon typing? Leave below in the comment section of the video. And 700 teams, people, that deserves a like. Let's get those likes going. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribed and make sure you selected that bell and selected all notifications, because if you missed the salt, it's not my fault. Now, I spent some time working up this team. You guys may have heard of 2 times weakness, 4 times weakness, but maybe not of 8 times weakness. So that's purely what this team is about, and I'm going to be giving it to you. And I really hope you enjoy. Quite a bit of thought was actually put into this team as well. All right, today we have 2 battles, and we have a doubles battle to start the match off. And if you haven't liked the video already, I'm going to give you a damn good reason to. And trust me, people, when I say that, I really mean it. So we got Lapras and Chansey lead here, and we got a Trevenant and Heracross lead. Let me explain my strategy and what's going to be happening on the field. So we're going to Chansey go for Protect there, right? And as you guys know, Heracross is a bug and fighting, so it's already 4 times weak to flying. Now, what my Trevenant is going to do is it's going to be using a move called Forest Curse, and what Forest Curse does, it adds grass typing to the opponent. So then Heracross will be not only a bug and fighting, it'll also be a grass type, making it 8 times weakness to flying. So pretty much what I was doing, I was giving my Pokemon extra weaknesses. So this is a very difficult team to do, because I was basically deliberately sabotaging my team, making them even more weak to their weaknesses. It was a really hard thing to do. So we got the Heracross swapping out there. As soon as I seen Freeze Dry and Lapras, I panicked. I was like, I've got to try this out. So I'm going to go into Swanna. Now, Swanna is actually 4 times weak to the move Freeze Dry. If I give my Forest Curse to Swanna, it'll be 8 times weak to this move. So I couldn't believe it. I was actually able to put the grass typing onto Swanna. So as you guys know already, it's flying and water, right? And when you give it the grass type, it actually gets hit 8 times, super effective with the move Freeze Dry with those mechanics. So we got the berry activation on my Trevenant. Now, if my Trevenant actually fainted in this battle, this whole team, it was sunk. That was it. I had to stop the battle and try another one. So it was very tedious, as you guys can imagine. So we're going to bring in the Swanna now. I'm going to actually go for this Chansey and scramble its little egg in its pouch. So we got a max attack, max speed Swanna. We got Brave Bird, Rain Dance, so, you know, get things a little bit wet, and then you can go for a Liquidation to make things even more wetter, and then you can go for an Aerial Ace if you don't want any Brave Bird recoil damage. We got the ability as Hydration. Instead, like someone goes for a Scummy Will-O-Wisp, you can get rid of it, and of course we got the item as Fly EMZ. So Chansey's little egg is going to get scrambled, and now we're going to Freeze Dry on the Swanna. Guys, I do this for the memes and the experiments. Who would swap out their Pokemon into an 8 times weakness move? I would, alright? This is the content you subscribe for. Anyway, so we're going to set up a little bit of a leech seed on that Lapras. Lapras was a little bit of a problem. I had to sort of like get around it. Now, this Trevenant, I didn't go over it fully. We got max health, max special defense. That's why I was taking the ice moves pretty nice there. We also got Protect, Leech Seed, and Substitute, as well as Forest Curse. So Forest Curse is a really cool move. It adds typing to the opponent, right? Now, you guys are probably thinking, oh, Pimpnite, why don't you use something like Soak, right? Now, what Soak does, that actually replaces the typing with a water type move, so I can't use that. Now, there is another move, too, that you can use, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So we got a Mega Pincer here, and I was thinking, oh, goodness, this is not too good. So my Heracross is, at the moment, is 4 times weak to flying, so even like anything is just going to take me out. So we got the Heracross going for the Focus Mist there on the Lapras, and I'm going to bury this Lapras with a Focus Mist. Thank goodness that hit. Like, every battle I did, like, one battle, I'm not joking, guys, I missed Focus Mist 5 times in a row. Like, I literally was like, I was so salty. Anyway, we're going to get the Harvest back on the Trevenant now. This Trevenant with Harvest, it needs to have, like, huge sustain, right? Because I want to be passing that Forest Curse off on to a lot of Pokemon, right? Okay, so the next Pokemon we got is the Incineroar. So these Pokemon were no joke, guys. They were pretty dang good sets and Pokemon. So we got to Intimidate. Not that it's really going to matter because they're running a special Heracross. Now, I know someone in the comment section is going to be like, oh, Pimpnite, why do you use like Trick or Treat, right? What Trick or Treat does, it's like Forest Curse, but it adds Ghost typing. But when you add Ghost typing to all the Pokemon, or all the Pokemon types, you actually cannot achieve an 8 times weakness, right? And if you also try and add Trick or Treat to Forest Curse Pokemon, it'll just replace the Forest Curse's Grass typing. So it doesn't work out too well then. So the only way to get it 8 times is with the Forest Curse and with the Swanna, as you've seen. There are little other things you can do as well, but I've tried to cover as many as possible in this video. So we're going to set up those Leech Seeds there. Heracross is going to bite the dust, and basically this really had to have sustain from Leech Seed from both players. If if I could get it off. It was a very difficult situation at the moment because I had Incineroar. I was facing down a Mega Pinsir and an Incineroar, so things weren't looking too hot. So now we got the Incineroar going for Protect there, and I guess it was just waiting to see what my Malamar was doing. Maybe it was thinking like a superpower, and now we're going to go for Protect on my Trevenant. I'm really worried about that Mega Pinsir. It's crazy. It's going to go for a turn, and my Trevenant would have taken like a 1,000,000% damage. So now we're going to go for the Trick Room on the Malamar. This was a clear Trick Room set. We've got on this Trick Room, Rock Slide, Psycho Cut, and Destiny Bond. So I've got the item as Tanga Berry. Now, what Tanga Berry does, it powers down super effective bug attacks. So, if I get hit by a Caterpie's bug bot, I might be able to live. Anyway, so we're going to go for the Destiny Ball there, hoping I actually get targeted as attack, hoping like at least Incineroar or maybe Mega Pinsir will attack me. I'm going to actually eat my berry there on the Trevenant, which is going to be nice too, and I'm going to throw up a little substitute, which is going to definitely save me in the next turn. All right, so now we're going to Flare Blitz coming from the Incineroar there. So I was thinking, is it going to go for Trevenant? It actually went for a Malamar instead. Malamar actually tanks that one pretty good. I think most of the EVs invested in that Incineroar ride are actually bulky. It's going to go for an X-Scissor with a Mega Pinsir. My Tanga Berry activates, but I'm not having much of a tango. I'm going to be falling over. That is my Malamar down, man. I've got hit by that was an 8 times weakness, I think, there too. All right, so that one's down there, or a 4 times weakness. This team was super, super hard to use. So we're going to get some more Leech Seed recovery from the Incineroar. But man, my team has just got shreked at the moment. So I've got 2 more Pokemon. Trevenant really doesn't have much presence at all. So it's up to my other Pokemon to leave me in the game. So since there's a Fire-type Pokemon on the field, it's time to send in Scissor, who's definitely going to do well against it. So on this set, this is like torture, guys. So on this set, we got a bulky Mega Scissor, max health, max special defense. I've got Roost, Iron Defense, Silver Wind, and Toxic with the Scissor as the arm. So Incineroar's going to go for the the Protect, trying to stall out that Trick Room, obviously. And now we got the Sableye going for the Will-O-Wisp. Now, normally that would have been a good play with the Sableye, right, burning my Scissor, but I'm running a special set, right. So now we got the Trevenant. It's going to go for the Forest Curse, making Scissor 8 times weak to fire. So at this point, like real talk, I'm going to go down to an Ember. So going for that Iron Defense, so hoping I can get maybe another one up before this Incineroar attacks me, but it's going to be very doubtful in nature. Now, I was also thinking about this Sableye. It could be a real pain in the bum to get around, so I was thinking maybe I should pop a Toxic on the Sableye and see if I can maybe take an attack from the Incineroar. Incineroar's getting very low on health too. So now we got the Sableye going for the Shadow Sneak. It's really starting to go after my substitute. I mean, like, the Trevenant with the substitute up is very, very annoying to get around. Plus, it's got Protect as well, so I can get Leech Seed up on, like, multiple Pokemon. And I've got the Harvest Citrus Berry. It's very, like, its sustain is absolutely beautiful. So now we got the Incineroar. It's going for the Dankus Lariat, doing a little twirly roundy thingy, and it's going to actually try and break my sub, which it does. So that's the problem about that was, for me, I could have gone for another Iron Defense there. Sableye's going to dodge that Toxic. I was so salty about that. I wish I actually went for another Iron Defense. So obviously the Incineroar's going to go down the next turn. I was thinking, oh crap, it's definitely going to have to use Flare Blitz against Scissor this time. There's no way it's not going to attack me. So Trevenant can easily go for a Sub or a Protect or something like that and dodge the next attack. Scissor, however, doesn't have Protect on its set at all. So we got the Sableye go for another Shadow Sneak. It does okay damage. I think more of it's invested in its health and defense or special defense. So it's throwing up another substitute, and now here we go, guys. We're going to Flare Blitz. Can I tank it with the Iron Defense at 8 times super effective? And I can't. Oh, no. I was wondering, if I could tank it if I got another Iron Defense up. Maybe I could have tanked it really, really badly. Anyway, so Incineroar's going to go down to Leech Seed and Recoil and all that kind of thing. And Sableye's got a Leftovers, and it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the bum. So we got the Leech Seed off on it. My last Pokemon, my last hope, people, is my Dragonite. Now, on the other side of the field, right, we've still got 2 more Pokemon remaining. So we're going to harvest back that berry again, and in comes the big boy. I haven't used our Dragonite for a long time, but man, this was probably one of the funniest parts in this battle. Like, you're not going to believe this. So since we're doing an 8 times weakness team, right, I thought up something like super trolling, right? So as you guys know, Dragonite has the multi-scale ability, so I'm thinking, right, well, I mean, if I'm going to get hit by an 8 times ice move anywhere in these battles, I'm going to make sure I can actually have a chance of living. So I gave this thing multi-scale and a Yaki Berry, people, so I can actually see if I can withstand an attack. So Trevor's going to pop that grass typing onto the Dragonite. I did that anyway, regardless whether I was going to get hit by an ice move or not. But this Arachnoid is going to use a Z move, and it's actually an Icidium Z, so I'm like, okay, it's clearly going to go for Dragonite. I mean, when you see a Dragonite, right, you pop that Powder Snow as fast as you can. can, right? So we're going to go for the Sub-Zero Slammer against the Dragonite, and I was like, am I going to be able to live this? Look at that Ice Beam. It's coming out of like a tentacle thing. Anyway, so Dragonite gets hit by the Z move, and look how much that does. I withstood a Z move 8 times super effective. So the Multi-Scale and Yucky Berry kick in there, man. If I didn't have either of them, I would have been absolute toast. That was crazy. Like it was almost like a scientific experiment, this battle, guys. The things I do for the memes, right? I sacrifice my Pokemon just for the memes. All right, so I've got to get rid of this Arachnid. I was thinking, right. So since the whole battle, you guys have been noticing, I've been adding Grass type to the opponent, right? It's time to actually, I've been adding Grass type to myself. It's time to be adding the Grass type to the opponent to help out my Dragonite. Now, as you guys already know, right, Arachnid is a bug type as well, and water and bug, right? So I was thinking, if I add those trees, like, if I help the environment out, grow those trees by an Arachnid and give it a Grass typing, it's going to be 4 times super effective against my Fly. So anyway, we got the Trevenant landing that, Ice Beam right in that tree trunk. It's going to eat that berry, and it's going to become K. It's very, very bulky on the special side. Arachnid's special attack isn't the greatest in the world either. Most of the time, Dragonite would probably go down to an Ice move, especially if it was a physical one, right? That Dragonite, let me go over the EVs. Max health, max special defense. That is why I took it so well. Anyway, so I got the wrap up on the Arachnid. This is a bulky Dragonite set. We got Wrap, Protect, Roost, and Fly. Multi-Scale, Yucky Berry, max health, max special defense. And we got Impish Nature. I was going to run like a fully special one, but I decided to give it a little bit of bulk on the special side. So now we're going to go for this Fly on the Arachnid, and that is going to take it out with a 4 times super effective attack. The salt is real, people. Now, all we got left is this little gremlin. We got to take it out. So we're going to add that Grass typing on the Sableye and makes Fly super effective. Now, I was quite confident if this thing had recover and try to stall me out, right? I had 2 Pokemon. It had 1. It was going to run out of PP long before I was going to, for sure, right? So I was willing, guys, to take this battle right to the struggle if it meant, if it meant just getting a good battle out of this team. So now we're going to harvest that berry, right? And I can go for the Fly here. Unfortunately for me, Sableye is going to use Will-O-Wisp against the Dragonite, and that is not going to be good against its attack. I don't have any EVs in attack. Dragonite naturally has a good attack stat, though, so I thought, well, Fly should do some okay damage at least, depending on what the EVs of the Sableye. So throwing that Substitute up, it really can't touch me at all. The Sableye, its Shadow Sink is going to be like a 2,000 hit KO against my Trevenant, right? I've got the Leech Seed up, so basically I'm sustaining almost half the damage it's doing to me with the Shadow Sink. So now I'm going to get hit by my Burn, that's fine. I would have much rather, I'd much rather the Burn than like a Toxic. That would end my Trevenant set, right? So I'm going to go for Protect. I really can't, have no attacking moves on this thing. Basically, its job was to spread that grass past in my hidden power Grass up to everyone else. So now we're going to go for the Fly on the Sableye. It's going to be super effective. I am burned though, but I managed to take it out. It must have been specially defensive. And that, my friends, is the game. If that didn't earn a like, people, I don't know what does. I seriously don't know what does. My whole team, right, it got hit by 8 times super effective attack just for the memes. I did it just for you people. I really hope you enjoyed that first battle. I couldn't have done a better job of showcasing my team. All right, let's get off to the second battle. This was against Mr. Galsword on my Discord. We have a full Kingdra team, so this was super long battle, so I'm going to be speeding this one up 200 times. Alright, so critting time is going to get critted, and that's going to get out of the battle. Now we got Aurora Beam Kingdra, a savage as, like real talk, look how much that Aurora Beam does. So we're going to add that Grass type to the little Swanna, and we're going to keep this going. So we got Queen of Damps coming in here. Now I'm going to go, it's going to get hit by a Dragon Pulse here on my Swanna, doing some pretty hefty damage. It's also a Life Orb too. I can go for the Brave Bird here, that's going to do some really solid damage, and nearly take out the Dragon King. So now we've got the Kingdra setting up the Rain Dance. Now Kingdra has Swift Swim as the ability, and I'm going to swiftly be in a lot of trouble if I let that thing live. So I'm going to set up the Leech Seed on that. Pretty much here, my Trevenant was really strong against their team. It basically kept setting up the Leech Seed on both sides of the field. Now in this situation, I didn't have a lot of opportunities to get hit by an 8 times super effective attack, but it was still a very interesting battle. This battle, I think was, I think it was like 50 turns or something. It was a very long battle. Anyway, so I'm going to hit by the Hydro Trumpet in the rain. That does amazing damage to Trevenant. If I didn't have Harvest and Citrus Berry, I would be in big trouble. My fire logs will be getting cooked in someone's fire right now. Real talk. Anyway, so I'm going to go, my Swanna's going to go down there. It's going to deliver some babies a little bit later on. I've still got 4 more Pokemon to swap back into this battle. Setting up that double leech seed. Look at this sustain on the Trevor. So I had the double leech seed sustain, and I had the harvest as well, harvesting all it killed in the rain. It was funny because I was harvesting berries in the rain all the time. It's quite like hilarious. So now we're going to bring in the Heracross here. Focus Miss misses. It does what it does best. And now I'm going to get hit by the Dragon Rage. I don't get paralyzed, which is good. And now we're going to add some grass typing to the Heracross. The Heracross is now 4 times weak to flying. I mean, low key, if one of these Kingdra have hidden power flying, I am in desperate trouble. So I've got some more. I've got some more recovery from the harvest, and I've got some leech seed recovery too. I'm going to get hit by a Hydro Pump, and I lived that one because of the grass typing. That was amazing there. And Rain Swifter is going to get hit by a Focus Miss, and I'm going to go down to the Dragon Breath. But man, that grass typing actually saved me from a Hydro Pump. That was absolutely incredible. So putting a Will-O-Wisp on the rain, I nearly called it the Rain Shifter. I nearly called it something else then. And Queen of Dam. So both of them on 1 health and merchant available. And Rain Shifter is going to go down. It's going to go down the toilet. All right, so next Pokemon we've got is the Sea Trooper. Man, this is a really cool team, a full Kingdra team. I really like versing these sort of teams. It's like really diverse. It's cool. If you make 6 Pokemon right, you got to think up 6 different sets and be very diverse. You think outside the box, right? So we got a Rest Kingdra here, and this is going to heal all itself back. I'm going to add that grass typing to Scissor. Low-key hidden power fire in the rain. I was a little bit scared, but I was cool at the same time. So now we've got some more leech recovery on the Trevenant. Man, this Trevenant leech, like, more life than, I can't even imagine how much life it leached in this battle. All right, so we got the Spyro coming out here. This is what I call my special, my shiny Spyro as well. I definitely call that Spyro. Anyway, so we got another Skull coming from the Kingdra. I've got a burnt Mega Scizor here, which is not going to do too much. Setting up that Leech Seed on the next Kingdra. Pretty much, Trevenant was the MVP here, just like willing the health down with the Leech Seed. So Scizor was burned, it was on low health, there's not much it could do. Now we got a Dragon Dance coming from that Spyro. I've got to stop that Spyro right now before it steals all my eggs. So we're going to get hit by a Scald there, and Mega Sensor goes rip. All I've got left now is Dragonite and 1 other Pokemon. So I've got some more leftover recovery on that opposing Kingdra, but my Trevenant is going to take that straight away with the Leech Seed. So back into Malamar now, or into Malamar for the first time. We got Trevenant go for Protect, and we got a Z move here, Dragonium Z. So I was thinking, okay, number 1 prime target is definitely going to be my Trevenant, right? Now, as you guys know, Protect actually powers down the power of Z move, and Kingdra's going to fire a little dragon out of its butt and right at my Kingdra, my Trevenant. Anyway, so I'm going to hit by this Scald there, hoping I don't get burnt, so I set up the Scummy Trick Room, hoping I can get a Destiny Bond on one of these bad little Kingdras. So we got some more leftover recover there on my Trevenant. This Trevenant is just not going to go down. It refuses to go down. Every single Kingdra, this thing leech seeded. Right, so he's going for a Scummy Rock Slide there, hoping for a flinch to no avail. So I'm going to hit by a Scald, and the other Kingdra actually gets flinch, which is really, really good. So now I'm thinking, should I go for the Destiny Bomb this turn, or should I go for another Scummy Rock Slide? What should I do? Like, should I bury one of them and just go for it, or just like keep going for Rock Slide and keep the Malamar on game? So now I'm going to go for Rock Slide. Both the Rock Slides miss. Are you actually kidding me? The Scald was not very effective, and either was the Waterfall. But unfortunately, it had a Dragon Dance up, and that was way too much for Malamar to actually withstand. So my last Pokemon I've got in here is my Dragonite, and I can tell you, people, the last bit of this battle was absolutely long, like something else. So now we got the next Kingdra swapping out, and we got a Kingdra to sleep right. So now, firstly, I'm going to go for a wrap. So you got to wrap your opponent sometimes and give them a little bit of a cuddle. So we got some, if you look at wrap right, it looks like an Ekans, like real talk. It looks like an Ekans. So we got that Ekans wrapping around the Kingdra. So I thought, I might be able to get that wrap on both Kingdras right, get those wraps going, and then I can go for the Leech Seed on both Kingdras. So they'll be getting hurt by the wrap and be getting hurt by the Leech Seed at the same time. So now we got the rain coming from this Kingdra. The problem with this Kingdra right, it actually had rest. So I was like, I need to take this out like really, really quickly. I need to add the grass type to these Kingdras, and then with my Dragonite, use the power of Fly and hit them as hard as I possibly can. Since I've got a lot of EVs invested into special defense and health, as you guys know already, I can't really do a lot of damage. So I've got to really rely on that wrap damage, the Leech Seed damage, and obviously the power of my Fly. I wish I had Sky Inium Z Fly. That would have been, did I say Sky Inium? I meant Fly Inium Z. Anyway, you go into the sky, you fly as a Dragonite. It's all the same. All right, so we're going to hit by the Clear Smog there. I didn't have any stats anyway, and now I'm going to fly into the sky Man, I can't, like, as I was saying before, guys, with Trick or Treat, I would have loved to use the move Trick or Treat with the Gorgeese, right? But that actually doesn't add any 8 times weakness at all. So this bit goes on for a little bit with the Kingdras. I was basically just trying to get their health low enough so that I could take them out with Fly. It was a very, very long section of the battle. Like, I'll give you guys an example. I think this battle went for, it had to be nearly an hour's battle when I looked at the clock, or very, very close. Just because the animations, like Leech Seed, the wraps, and you had to do like, it was leftovers. I think it was nearly leftovers on two Pokemon, and then it was 2 wraps and 2 Leech Seeds, and in a doubles battle, that takes actually a very, very long time. So we got another Kingdra down, and we got one more Kingdra, which is the Spyro, which is yet to come out again, and it's a 2v2 at the moment, people. So Spyro's going to come out in half of. I really need to get rid of Spyro. It's going to go for an Outrage, and Dragonite is going to go down. I've lost all my Pokemon except Trevenant. Can Trevenant come and clutch here? So we got their Scald there. It's not going to be very effective. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, and that is going to burn my Kingdra. So you guys have probably noticed I'm running a little bit different Trevenant set to the first battle. Now, let's go over that set. So, instead of the Substitute, I ran Will-O-Wisp instead. Now, I had mixed success with the Will-O-Wisp. A lot of the time, Will-O-Wisp would miss, and Substitute came in handy a lot of time because I could, if I had the Trick Room up, I could throw up a Substitute. If they didn't go for me one turn, I could throw up Substitute. Then I could go for Protect. And it was very, very good. Usually in this case, it was vastly superior to Will-O-Wisp. It was sort of like depending on what the opponent brought, but I had more success with Substitute than Will-O-Wisp. However, this battle I had I think I had this battle more at the start or at the end. I think I changed them up. Anyway, so I'm going to eat another berry there, getting all my health back. And it came like clear to me that this was definitely going to start. Maybe it could come down to a stalemate. I wasn't sure. It was like such a long battle. Like the sustain was crazy, right? So now we got the Spyro on the left. That was the very offensive Spyro. It clearly didn't have anything like Rest or anything like that. However, the other Kingdra definitely did. So the Spyro's down to its last bit. It's going to be confused as well, and it's going to go for an Outrage. It's going to not do very much damage to my Trevenant, and Trevenant's going to get some more health back with the Citrus Berry. Man, thank goodness for Harvested Citrus Berry, right? All right, so another Clear Smog. I'm going to go for another Will-O-Wisp on the opposing Kingdra. Now, Sea Trooper, as you guys know, has Rest. So I was thinking, how am I going to get past it? And the Spinal Spyro, man, I nearly said Spinal Spyro. The final Spyro is going to go down, but that was pretty much it. It was a stalemate. We decided to actually draw the battle here. There was nothing I could do to the Kingdra, and there was nothing it could do to me. After this really long battle, it was like, we're just going to call it a draw. I think they just let their Pokemon die. But it was a clear draw then. I really hope you guys enjoyed both these battles. Peace out.